Hi, this is Screenwriter Phillip E. I am the founder of Screenwriter Talking Shop on Facebook, and I am a produced screenwriter. Today, I'd like to talk about show Bibles. So let's call this video Anatomy of a Show Bible, or should I say Anatomy of a Show Bible. I've pulled four Bibles from four different cable shows, and they were all successful. The most recent one is Gangs of London. But the first one I wanted to show you is For the Wire, which we all know was a fairly long-running, successful show on HBO. And it's 80 pages long. I don't recommend you as a screenwriter pitching, particularly if you're an aspiring writer, have a Bible that's 80 pages. This writer was probably super established at the time, and unless you want to put your reader to sleep, my suggestion is writing what they call a mini Bible, which should be about 20 pages or less. And as you'll see with two of the examples, one of them is 12 and the other one's 10 pages. So this is the longest of the four examples. But let's get right into it. The Wire, written by David Simon, goes for a very straightforward approach, and they give you they kick it off with a summary of what the TV show is supposed to be. It was a cop show, criminal show, and then they give you character descriptions. Oh, I'm sorry, they give you a setting, so they tell you it's in an Eastern Belt Rust City, majority black population with white ethnic elements, blah, blah, blah. So that's probably it's 5 paragraphs, and then they go into a character description. And most of your standard Bibles will have character descriptions. In the case of The Wire, they are limited to some short paragraphs, which I think is a good thing. Because again, you want your reader to be able to breeze through this and just get a high-level look at who your characters are. You don't need to give them the backstories that they went to Harvard and they went to a YMCA camp in 1984. You give them a high-level, quick snapshot of what your character is. So they do that, and then from here, they have some very long summaries of the TV show. Typically, most Bibles will offer a episode summary for each episode, and that is no exception with this Bible. The thing they did here, which I disagree with, again, hey, you can't argue with successes. I don't put dialogue into a show Bible. This is the only example that does that, and I don't recommend that. I think it was an interesting approach, but I just can't see putting dialogue in a show Bible. But yet the Wire did it. So that's pretty much it for this show Bible. The rest of this is all episode summaries. So let me move on quickly, and let's have a look at Fargo. Now, Fargo was premiered in 2013. It's a Noah Hawley was the writer, and it's a very interesting Bible. It's nice, clean, a lot of white space, 12 pages long. And this Bible comes at it from a completely different angle. Not only do they not give you regular character summaries, they don't give episode summaries either. They tell you on a very high level what they want to do with Fargo. It's the story of an insurance salesman who asks the criminal to kill his bully. Just gives you quick little snippets of what the show's about, and it does it in one page. Then they give you a character introduction. They tell you who they are, or what they do, I should say. And this is a little gag that he inserted. It's supposed to be a season 1 triangle, but then Noah Hawley puts this paragraph in. Oh, wait, maybe season 1 is a circle. So he inserted a little humor in the Bible, and if I was the reader, and I am in this case, you do get a chuckle out of it. So a good angle going in on this is he's coming at it from a different approach, and he puts in something that the reader can laugh about, which really, if you look at the initial season of Fargo, there was a lot of satirical elements to that, and it was by far the best season. So finally, he ends off his show Bible by giving you character arcs. So I've seen Bibles that do talk about character arcs, but typically within the normal character description. So this very brief Bible has no show summaries and concentrates primarily on character arcs. So something, as Monty Python said, something completely different. And to me, that's what makes this Bible stand out, for better or worse. So in this case, for better, because they sold the show for several seasons. So another straightforward television Bible is True Detective. This one comes at it, it's a 10-page, so it's the most brief summary, and comes at it from a very straightforward presentation. They tell you what the series is about in a few paragraphs. They talk about how they're offering a unique structure. This narrative is structured in two time frames. The first is a dramatization from 1990 to 2002. So from there, they give you a philosophical angle. They talk about the suspense, and they talk about humanism of the show, and then they give you an introduction to the two leads. So some of these Bibles, like as you'll see with Gangs of London, and as you saw with The Wire, there was a ton of characters. This one, they just give you the two leads that were played by Matt McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, I believe, and they are pretty long, dense paragraphs, but they get it done fast. And then the balance of the 10 pages is dedicated to giving you show summaries. So very straightforward Bible, gets the job done in 10 pages. The True Detective show was on for 2 seasons. So again, did the job, right? So finally, I'm going to present the most recent Bible. It's also a more modern approach to show Bibles, because nowadays people are throwing graphics into the Bibles. So what I would say are elements of pitch decks. And Gangs of London is 46 pages, so it's a rather long show Bible. But actually, when I found it, I liked it so much that when I was jazzing up one of my show Bibles late last year, I used the graphic idea, and I also used the future show summaries. So I'll show you those. In this particular Bible, they give a cover sheet where they talk about what they're going to give you. They give you a one-pager overview of what the show is about. They give you what I guess is about a 6-7 page summary of the characters and the gangs themselves. So not only do they talk about specific people, they talk about the specific gang. So interesting concept. Then the rest of it is episode breakdowns and what they call future series arcs. So their introduction looks like this. It's one pager as they promised. And then they go into the characters and the gangs. Here's Sean Wallace, one of the main characters. And then they talk about, here's the board. That's one of the main gangs for the 2-3 main characters. So interesting approach. This is a nice, clean-looking Bible, easily read. And then let's scroll down and look at episode summaries. And this is where they insert the graphics. This is episode 2. So interestingly enough, and I take a break for a sip here, I guess since they supplied a Bible to whoever the buyers were, they didn't do a summary for it. But all the subsequent episodes, which I assume were not written at the time of submission, are summarized like this. So in this case, they give you an overview. Elliot's true identity is explored in a flashback. So here's the main plot, and then that's the flashback, I guess, because here they say back to present time. So this Bible, again, spends a lot of time with the episode summaries, and it's a nice-looking Bible. I like the graphics. Thought it was really cool. And then finally, scroll down, and then they give you what they call the future series arcs. And interestingly enough, I did this in one of my recent Bibles, and in fact, mine were a little longer, but this second season is summarized in 5.5 short paragraphs, and then the third season is 2.5 paragraphs. So what they're doing is they're just giving them a real high-level summary. When I say them, the prospective buyers, people that are working at streamers or whatever, they want to know that you, as a writer, know where you're going with your television show. You may have a slam bang first season and then have no idea where you're going from there. So this gives you an example of a show where they presented and they said, this is where we're going for the next 2 seasons. And they didn't do it in any great detail, but they did it so that the buyers had confidence enough to purchase the show. So that is the video for Show Bibles. And I hope you found this information interesting and useful. This is Philip Hardy, and I'll talk to you soon.